I see you've made your way through the wardrobe. Is it your first time, or are you coming back after a time spent away? Is your journey starting or ending here? Too many questions. I'm sorry. I just love to see new people arrive. Welcome to Narnia. Whether you have come here intentionally or have merely wandered in by what you think is mere coincidence, because we all know there are no coincidences. Aslan draws you. You feel the pull of Narnia, and you respond whether consciously or unconsciously. Regardless, you'll find what you are looking for here. Sometimes it's within we have to search, and sometimes it is a pathway we have to take.
Hello, Professor.
Hello.
Hello, Professor.
How are you?
I'm very well.
Where's Peter?
Hello everybody, how lovely to see you again.
Hello, Peter.
I'll tell you about my first journey here. I was a young man of 13. Well, I thought I was a young man. But as I weave through my story, I realize I was merely a child. It's still so fresh. Fresh as those tracks you'll see in the snow. You see, Narnia is a so special journey that even the tiniest details stood rooted in my memory. Even though I am a young man and my memories are slipping, but Narnia is not. I was a great turmoil. We were in the midst of war, enemy was advancing, bombs was dropping, and it was deemed necessary to evacuate all children to the countryside for their safety. We, Lucy, Edmund, Susan, and I went to live with an elderly professor who we thought mostly curious. I do not know what he thought about us. We were used to the smoke of the big city, the Rose Tracehouse house, and of course, the air raid siren. The countryside was a whole new world to us. The air, the tracks, and the adventure.
Attention! Would all parents please ensure their child has the appropriate identification papers?
You warm enough? Now, honey, you have to keep this on you. Be sure and keep this on.
If Dad were here, the war would be over and we wouldn't have to go.
If Dad wasn't fighting and the war was over, we wouldn't have to go.
You will listen to your brother, won't you, Edmund? Look after the others.
I will, Mum.
You be a big girl now, Susan. There now, off you go.
Come on, we've got to stay together now. Everything's going to be okay.
Peter! I know how to get on a train.
Come on. Come.
Goodbye, my darlings.
Goodbye, Mother. We'll miss you.
Wait, so Professor knew we were coming?
Perhaps you've been incorrectly labelled.
McCready?
Wait, sir. Sir.
Is that it then? Haven't you bought anything else?
No, ma'am. It's just us.
Small favours. The professor isn't accustomed to having children in his home, so there are 3 rules that we need to follow. No shouting or running, no improper use of the dumbwaiter, no touching of the historical artifacts, and no disturbing the professor.
German aircraft carried out several attacks on Great Britain.
The sheet was scratchy.
Wars don't last forever, Lucy. We'll be home soon.
The poem's still there.
Isn't it time you were in bed?
Yes, Mom.
Ed! Lucy, you saw the outside. This place is huge. We'll be able to play for hours. Tomorrow's is going to be a great day. Really?
Boring. Gastrovascular. Come on, Peter. Gastrovascular.
Is it Latin?
Yes.
Is it Latin for the worst game ever invented?
We can play hide and seek, but we're already having so much fun. Please, please, please.
Oh, alright then.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Action.
98, 99, 100. Here I come, ready or not. I'm back, it's all right.
Again.
I'm back, it's all right.
He's coming.
Ready or not, here I come. I'm back, it's all right.
He's coming.
I don't think you two have quite gotten the idea of this game. But weren't you wondering where I was?
That's the point. That's why he was seeking you.
Does this mean I'm in?
I don't think Lucy wants to pay anymore.
The only wizard here is the back of the wardrobe.
One game at a time, Lou. We don't all have your imagination.
I wasn't imagining.
That's enough.
It was really there.
That's enough.
Well, I believe you.
You do?
Yeah. Did I tell you about the time I found a football field in the back of the closet?
Why don't you just stop it? You always have to make everything worse. Grow up!
Shut up. You think that you're dad, but you're not.
Well, that was nicely handled.
But I wasn't imagining.
Susan's right. That's enough.
John 20:31. But these are written so that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name.
I was only 6 the first time I entered Narnia through the wardrobe. But my memories are so vivid. I can still feel the blissful feeling of snowflakes on my nose. I was prone to storytelling as most 6-year-olds are. So that is possibly why no one believed me when I told them the incredible story of a snowy forgotten land where Mr. Thomas invited me to tea. The second time I visited Narnia, oh yes, I went back again. It was impossible not to. The draw of those wardrobe doors were too strong. The second time Edmund snuck in behind me, I thought it was amazing that he had joined me. At last, someone to confirm my story was in fact truth. But we all know that's not how the story goes. Edmund made me out to be a big liar in front of the others and hurt my feelings incredibly. You may find this when you invite others to join you in seeking out Narnia. They may come and seek, but will deny afterwards.
Peter, wake up! It's really there! Wake up! Have you been dreaming again? What's going on?
Narnia, it's all in the wardrobe, like I told you.
Oh, Lucy, you've been dreaming.
No, I wasn't. I saw Mr. Thomas again. And this time Edmund went with me too. You saw the fawn? Edmund didn't go there with me. Where were you, Edmund?
I was just playing along. You know how little kids are like these days. They don't know when to stop pretending.
Oh.
Ow. But don't fear. Even the most ardent of critics bow to Aslan eventually. His pull is too strong. It was on the third fateful trip through those large, heavy doors and past the fur coats that Peter, Susan and Edmund all finally saw the wonder that is Narnia. As I say, some are believers on first hearing. Others take a little more time to arrive at that conclusion. Regardless, the third trope was of course the most extraordinary of them all.
Everyone's always keen to hear my story. I was rebel child, wasn't I? As the others obediently followed Aslan, I sided with the White Witch. I was easily swayed by her.
Lucy, I hope you're not afraid of the dark. Lucy, I think I believe you now. Lucy?
Yeah! What is it, Jin Robert?
He won't let go.
Is that how you address the Queen of Narnia?
I didn't know.
Well, you will know soon enough. Wait, what is your name, son of Adam?
Edmund, Your Majesty.
And how was it, Edmund, that she came to enter my dominion?
I followed my sister through a wardrobe.
Your sister? How many are you?
4.
Oh, Edmund, you look so cold. Come and sit here with me on my sledge. Now, would you like something warm to drink?
Yes, please. How did you do that?
I can make you anything you like.
Can you make me taller?
Anything you like to eat.
Turkish delight?
I'd love to see your family.
They're nothing special.
I have no children of my own, and you're such a good little boy. Where can I see one day you becoming the Prince of Narnia? Maybe even king.
Really?
Of course. You'd have to bring your family.
Oh, Peter would be king too?
No, but king needs servants.
I guess I could bring them.
Beyond these woods, do you see those 2 little hills? My house is right between them. You'd love it there, Edmund. It has whole rooms simply stuffed with Turkish delight.
Can't I have some more now?
No! Don't want to ruin your appetite. I'll miss you, Edmund. We'll see each other very soon.
I hope so.
Until then, dear one.
Edmund! Oh, Edmund! I saw Mr. Thomas again and he's fine. The White Witch hasn't found him out about helping me.
The White Witch?
She calls herself the Queen of Narnia, but she really isn't. Edmund, are you okay? You look awful.
What do you expect? It's freezing. How do we get out of here?
Come on, follow me.
She promised to make me prince. Which of you at 9 years old would have said no to becoming prince? Of course those promises were all fake, and eventually led to my downfall. You see, she offered me everything I couldn't refuse. It was war. Father had gone to fight, mother had packed us off to the countryside. Peter thought he was in charge, and I thought I was a man. I was sick of the constraints of my life, and thought that better things were ahead of me. But you see, that is the grip she has on you, the promises of better and more. But they are little more than promises, and not fulfilled in any way. As you know, my story is one of redemption and hope, because regardless of my betrayal, he still called me his own.
Perhaps I should explain a little bit more of the story. I am more prone to details while the others dreamily remember their experiences. As soon as we arrived in Narnia, we felt under threat. You see, it was always winter in Narnia. Always winter, but never Christmas. Can you imagine? The Mr. Thomas who Lucy mentioned was in fact half man and half fawn, and the strangest little being anyone ever encountered. We were informed by the Beaver that he had been arrested by the White Witch for treason. You see, it was she who ruled over Narnia and kept it between the winter. Winter's not meant to last forever, and there is hope of the spring to follow. But in Narnia, this hope has gone. We were told of a prophecy that claimed the White Witch rule would end when 2 sons of Adam and 2 daughters of Eve sat on the 4 thrones of Kerpavel. Narnia's true ruler, a great lion named Aslan, will return to the stone after several years of absence. Now I know you are listening to this and wondering how could this be. Petula Winter, Talking Beaver, a great lion. Let me assure you, I had these thoughts. And had I not seen and experienced these things, I wouldn't have believed them to be true.
Skies don't seem to be as dark as usual. The stars seem brighter than they've been before. Oh, deep within the field, my soul is stirring, as though my hope has been restored. The shepherds say they heard the voice of angels. Firming rumors spread across the land, that if child protectors were from heaven's anchor, is our Father's Son and the Son of Man. Love is raining down on the world tonight. There's a presence here, I can tell. God is in us, God is for us, God is with us. Emmanuel, He's the Savior we have been praying for. In the humble ones He will dwell. God is in us, God is for us, God is with us. Emmanuel. I feel compelled to tell all who will listen that peace on earth is not so out of reach. If we can find grace and mercy and forgiveness, He has come to save. He gives all of these. Love is raining down on the world tonight. There's a presence here, I can tell. God is in us, God is for us, God is with us. Emmanuel, He's the Savior we have been praying for. In the humble ones He will dwell. God is in us, God is for us, God is with us. Emmanuel. You're the Savior we have been praying for. In the humble hearts You will dwell. You are in us, You are for us, You are with us. Emmanuel.
Oh my, what a story. And who's to tell whether it's true or not? It is, however, a story of hope. And what is hope? A feeling? Why, no, it is the most magnificent thing we can truly believe in. Hope is 4 small letters that can truly change the world. You see, Narnia can only exist in the mind of a reader, but true hope really does exist. It exists not in the form of a lion, or a ferocious roar, or a magnificent mane. It exists in a baby born over 2,000 years ago in a stable. True hope exists in a baby, in a delicate newborn, in a defenseless, helpless little bundle of joy. True hope exists in the face of the shepherds, who saw a multitude of angels declaring his birth, and at once sought his birthplace. It exists in an innkeeper who could not bear to send away a young couple about to be parents, so offered up a humble stable for their shelter. It exists in a mother cradling a newborn baby close to her heart. True hope arrived not into glorious surroundings. It did not roam as a ferocious lion. It meekly and tenderly arrived in a lowly stable.
You children are one more shenanigans shy of sleeping in the stable. Oh, Professor, I told him that you must not be disturbed.
Oh, it's alright, Mrs. McCready. I'm sure there's a logical explanation, but I think this one needs some hot chocolate. You seem to have upset the internal balance of my housekeeping.
We're very sorry, sir. It won't happen again.
It's our sister, Lucy.
The weeping girl,
Yes, sir. She's upset.
hence the weeping.
We can handle this.
I can see that.
She thinks she's found a magical lamp in the upstairs wardrobe.
What is it like?
Like talking to a lunatic.
No, not her. The forest.
You believe her?
No, not her. The forest.
You actually believe her?
Well, logically, it couldn't possibly be there.
What did they teach you at these schools?
Edmund said they were only pretending.
And he's the more truthful one, isn't he?
No, this would be the first time.
Well, if your sister isn't mad and isn't lying, then we must assume that she's telling the truth. She's your sister, isn't she? You're a family. It's high time you start acting like one.
Matthew 1, verse 21 to 23. She will bear a son, and you shall call his name Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins. And this took place to fulfill what the Lord had spoken by the prophet. Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which means God with us.
Things took a turn for the worse the second time I entered Narnia. At the time, I didn't believe what I was doing wrong. I thought the others had the wrong end of things. After tea at the Beaver's house, I slipped away to find a white witch. I was lured by promises of greatness and a sense of delicious Turkish delight. It was one of those occasions though where the reality did not meet my expectations. As I arrived, I saw that all her enemies had been turned into stone statues. I am now ashamed to say that I reported to her that my siblings were in Narnia, and that there were rumours of Aslan being on his way. All at once she changed completely. All the things she had said to me to make me believe that she was good and kind, and that her side was the right side, suddenly seemed silly to me. Instead of a prince, I was now treated like her prisoner. We began our movement towards a stone table where she ordered the execution of Peter, Susan, Lucy, and the Beavers.
When Mr. Beaver told us about Aslan, a strange feeling came over me. All at once, I felt brave and strong. It was really peculiar. I had up to this point never met this Aslan, but even the whisper of his name evoked such strong feelings in me. They say if you're quiet, you can hear the trees whisper his name. When we realized Edmund's treachery, we knew at once that we must leave the Beaver's house and head to the stone table. It is hard to explain, but inexplicably knew that Edmund had gone to, and which even though he claimed to have never been in Narnia before. We also felt this pull, that we were suddenly part of this story. We knew without doubt that we needed to head to the stone table.
I'm sure you know from the story that things didn't quite turn out as planned that winter in Narnia. During our trek to the stone table, we noticed that the snow was melting and spring was returning to Narnia. We had all of this hope. Because of Edmund's treason with the White Witch, she announced that she would execute him. My heart sank. Surely Aslan wouldn't let that happen. Of course, we all know how this story ends. And it is simply that Aslan gave his own life in place of Edmund's. He humbled himself and allowed himself to be humiliated and put to death. But the morning, oh the beautiful morning, when he walked among us again and restored Narnia to its true self. You see, even a traitor is worthy of forgiveness.
This may be where the story of Narnia ends, but our story covers eternity. You see, that hope, which I spoke of, grew from tiny humble beginnings. It was a barely audible whisper, which evolved into a ferocious roar. That hope, that tiny baby, had a destiny that had been foretold. Narnia may live in the imagination, but this hope is not fictional. It is as real as the very ground you stand on. Its beginnings are as old as creation itself. It was there when the first spark of light was created. It was there as the trees took their first breath and stood straight. It was there through the ancient scriptures foretold over 300 times. That hope was of a baby who would bring peace and reconciliation to a broken world. You see, this baby would grow not to only in stature and years, but in wisdom, grace and knowledge. He was unlike any child ever born before, or who would ever be born again. This little one had a unique gifting. You see, he was the son of the Abba, the son of the Father of all creation. He was his one and only begotten son, and there was a unique purpose for his life. You see, the Abba, who created the world in all its glory and splendor, who had created man and woman, saw that his creation needed rescuing from the sin that had crept in. That is generally how sin enters. It slowly creeps until it has a hold, a grip that ties us to it. So the Father, in his wisdom, sent a savior. In the story of Narnia, Aslan only had the ability to die for one, for Edmund. But not so the savior. He was required to die for all. He died one death so all may live. He died an excruciating death so that once and for all the issue of sin was dealt with, and all who call upon his name are covered by his blood. His love is all-encompassing, all-inclusive, and leaves no one on the sidelines. We, that is you and I, can be part of this redemption story. That hope, that truth belongs to us. All of us.
Philippians 2:8-11. And being found in human form, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death, even death on a cross. Therefore God has highly exalted him and bestowed on him the name that is above every name, so that at the name of Jesus every knee should bow, in heaven and on earth and under earth, and every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father.